We welcome you to the Rocket City this evening as a pair of potent Eastern Conference outfits take center stage in MLS Next Pro Match Week 15. Huntsville looking to get back on track against a surging OCB squad. We say hello and welcome from Wicks Family Field at Joe Davis Stadium. Sam Goldfarb here, thrilled to bring you all of the action here. It's a Huntsville squad that has managed just 1 point in its last 4, an Orlando City side with 4 wins in its last 5, a pair of squads in vastly different veins of form on opposite sides of the playoff cut line. And now it's time to get a look at our starting lineup, starting with Huntsville and the squad that they trot out today under third-year head man Chris O'Neill. It is now a 5-back, a side that has conceded 13 goals in its last 4 matches, so they make a number of changes as a result. Maximus Eck still leading the line, and the 15-year-old Liam Stribling gets his second straight start. Meanwhile, Will Mackey continues to lock things down between the sticks. On the opposite end of things, for Edward Wilding and Orlando City B, it is 3 changes from that thrilling 3-2 victory over Carolina Core on June 7th. Sarajan moves up top. That makes room for Matthew Belkadir, who scored the winner last week, to take center stage on the right flank. It is still Tristan Himes between the sticks for OCB as well. Just about ready to get everything underway here in Huntsville. It is the second meeting of the year between these sides, and it is a fixture Huntsville has dominated of late. 3 consecutive wins dating back to the 2024 season, including that 3-1 triumph in the season opener. We'll see how they fare on home soil tonight. Just waiting both the teams to take the pitch. It's a Huntsville squad that Chris O'Neill's mentioned has gone through its ups and downs. This is a team that is prolific going forward, 4th most goals in the league. The issue has been they've conceded the 4th most goals against in the division, and that is a -4 goal difference that has plagued them of late. A side that won 4 straight to climb into the top 8 in the Eastern Conference. Since then, 3 defeats in the last 4. They've conceded multiple goals in all 4 of those contests as well. Last week, the 2-1 defeat against Toronto FC2, in which they were caught out twice before the break, despite Chris O'Neill saying he felt his squad produced one of its more comprehensive displays of the year. We'll see if they can put that frustration behind them against an Orlando squad that has been red hot. A 14-6 advantage on the score sheet over the course of its last 5 matches. Just 1 defeat in that stretch as well. So it is Huntsville in their classic home navy with the white numbers and white sleeves. Orlando in the road yellows with the purplish accents, as we just await our referees to get this one sorted so we can play some football on this Saturday night. It is amazing how the Next Pro spectrum can change from year to year. A Huntsville squad that was comfortably in the top 8 for most of last season reached its first ever playoffs as a member of MLS Next Pro in the Eastern Conference quarterfinals. Their opposite numbers in Orlando, a regression year, 2 points shy of the playoff line. They've undergone in-season coaching turnover, with Edward Wilding taking over the second-team job on April 9th. And with all of that, they find themselves now top 4 in the East and 6 points above that cut line. So it will be Huntsville from left to right on your screen, the visiting Orlando from right to left. It will be Moises Veliz who gets us underway as we just await our referees' go-ahead here at Wicks Family Field. And we are underway here from Huntsville. It is Huntsville City hoping to get back on track against red-hot Orlando. And already a fast start here as the cross comes in, and it's stabbed away by Titus Sandy Jr. can expect Huntsville to pick its spots going forward. This is a side that does like to have the ball, but Orlando City B is known for its ability to dominate possession and pin teams in. So Chris O'Neill mentioned they'll have to be smart when they press, when they devote numbers forward, especially given their recent weakness that has been shown in transitional moments. That is the primary skinny on their approach to this fixture here tonight. And early on, Julian Gaines looks to make inroads going forward for the hosts. And here is the first touch for Mackey. Top 6 in the league in saves and clean sheets. And that's ushered back to Tristan Himes, the 22-year-old, who is an imposing 6'7", and finally getting consistent minutes between the sticks this year for OCB. Well, talking to Chris O'Neill this week, we mentioned it earlier, he did feel the performance was worthy of a victory at Toronto FC2, but ultimately 2 lapses in concentration, one on a set piece and one on the counter, sent them behind 2-0, and Maximus Eck procured a goal late, but it wasn't enough. Said that he felt they were unlucky to maybe not get one earlier in the second to make it interesting. As Orlando strolls forward here, and there's the first touch for Hilton, the 16-year-old. He lashes at it, but it doesn't dip in time. Decent look here for Hilton. Just picks this up on the break, and these are the moments where Huntsville's been most vulnerable, where he just pops in and puts his laces through it, but ultimately no real trouble for Mackey. When you look at this Huntsville side, it looks more like their traditional 4-back that they've been trotting out for weeks. That nearly reached the feet of Liam Stribling, the 15-year-old Nashville SC Academy standout. Does win a throw for the hosts. Molina. There's Aiden Jarvis on loan from New York Red Bulls. Eck was in an offside position. On the other end of things, for Orlando, it has been an interesting campaign because they got off to an up-and-down start. It's very hard to string wins together in Next Pro for a number of reasons, be it personnel turnover, players moving up and down from the first team in the academy ranks into that Next Pro fold, and Edward Wilding basically admitted as much. But when he took over on April 9th, they started to see some progress, and the last 5 games have been brilliant. 4 wins in that stretch. The amount of goals they've scored have been remarkable. Multiple goals in all 4 of those victories. And the only game in which they've been blanked, the 1-0 defeat at New England Revolution 2 nearly a month ago. So it's been a really strong stretch of results for the Lions. And now the question is if they can just keep that going now with more road fixtures on the horizon. 4 of the next 6 are away from the comfortable confines of Osceola Heritage Park, and that's something they may have to grapple with. That's ushered back to Himes. Sprays that out of play. And Edward Wilding mentioning that he felt even before this run of victories, they were putting together strong displays that were flashing their potential and what they could achieve. Said that this recent run of results is not a surprise to him or his coaching staff. It's something that they expected would come despite all of the structural challenges that come with winning multiple games on the trot in Next Pro. And you'd figure now, during the MLS's World Cup break, that these teams will begin to establish continuity. There won't be as much chopping and changing personnel-wise. There's Haruna, the UNCG product. Chicumso. Haruna is sent tumbling and wins the match's first set piece. Ryan, converted fullback, someone who bounced around positionally throughout the academy, but is better known for his shifts on the wing as an out-and-out winger. He's been an attack-minded left back that has gotten a consistent run of matches this season and has made an impact with a trio of assists. There's Jarvis. Veliz. He's dispossessed there, and options now for Orlando. It's played forward. This is Belkadir, who scored the winner on Sunday. Looking for a carbon copy of that, instead lays it back off. Ball in from Trombino, rather underwhelming. And now you're starting to see Orlando settle into its desired match script. This is a team that wants to play with the ball, is comfortable trying to break teams down. Huntsville will be tested structurally today. Veliz plays this long. Molina is in behind. Molina drives it across. No one there in Navy to greet it. Chicumso was hoping to switch the play for Haruna. It's a ball that lacked the accuracy required. We alluded to it off the top. These two teams, two of the most prolific goal-scoring entities in MLS Next Pro. It's an Orlando side that, when you look at all of the advanced numbers, including goals, is one of the best goal-scoring outfits in the league. Second most goals with 31 to their name. They're top two in shots on target percentage as well. Their opposite numbers in Huntsville, not far behind, 26 goals to their name. That's joint fourth in the division. With these teams, the problem has never been their ability to score. It's been a question of keeping teams out, and both of these units, at times throughout the season, have battled the plague of conceding goals. Right now, Huntsville is going through that fight pretty egregiously at the moment. It's a team that's been caught for 13 goals in the last 4 games. This is one back upfield by Orlando. And Amu Mensah will win a throw for the Lions. Sandy. Here's Ryan, 18-year-old who has really impressed the coaching staff this year with OCB. You see this level of comfort with which they knock it about. And it's these moments, as we mentioned, where Chris O'Neill has said Huntsville has to be patient and pragmatic and pick their spots in the press. Right now, they seem content to sit off and prioritize their defensive shape, which makes sense given the recent struggles. Gomez. Wide for Amu Mensah with numbers in support as well. And he's dispossessed by Veliz. Well, for those just joining us, we welcome you into Wicks Family Field in Huntsville, Alabama. A historic venue, initially opened in the 80s for minor league baseball. Since then, it's been renovated and converted into a soccer-based playing surface. Huntsville City has hosted its home matches here since its inaugural Next Pro season in 2023. It's one of 7 new additions to the league ahead of that 2023 season, and last year, the best of the lot. Right now, as things stand, 3 points south of the playoff line. as that potential counter opportunity is neutralized by a referee's whistle. Ryan. Here's Hilton. It's his third straight start. Already a goal and an assist to his name this season in very limited appearances. Gomez. And receives it back from Hilton in the pocket. Belkadir. Arcing cross in. Headed away before it can reach anyone in yellow. It may be this game of cat and mouse for the majority of this fixture. Jacomso breaking lines well. Here's Haruna. He's looking for the run of Sarajan, who's in flying form at the moment. A quintet of goals and an assist for this year's 5th overall pick in the MLS Super Draft. Scored that game winner in that thrilling 5-2 victory over Chattanooga FC on May 31st. It is a team that can bang in goals for fun. Even when they fall behind, they've flashed resilience. Of course, in that Carolina core match last Sunday, they fell 2-0 behind. And Eddie Wilding mentioned how he felt his team was the better entity even through that. And then they were able to pull one back from the penalty spot after a red card. And after that, they took advantage of that man advantage to score twice more after the restart and win it. There's now a player down, though, for Orlando. And it's a concerning sight. Fans, this portion of the match is brought to you by Renaissance. Understanding you, member FDIC. Still a player down for Orlando City B. And this is almost definitely a point of concern. Orlando's begun to piece together a cohesive lineup. There was a lot of rotation early in the year in the attacking midfield trio as well as the center back spots, and starting to see Chicomso lock down the one position. Sandy's popped in as well. Not to mention, in addition to that, you've seen Akomsky occasionally fill in. But there is now a consistent collection of characters in the squad. And all of that cohesion crucial as see the ginger limp off the pitch from Issa Haruna. Has produced moments of magic since being selected 20th overall by Orlando in this year's Super Draft. Certainly hope that he will be all right after further examination. So as of now, at least for the time being, Orlando down to 10. It's just a question of whether Edward Wilding feels the need to make an early change for injury. Molina. Well, a quarter of an hour gone, and we still have yet to see our first real chance of note. Orlando started to settle on it with each passing minute, but they have yet to break down this stout Huntsville back line. Molina looking to open things up here, and he overhits it for Stribling. It is playing into Chris O'Neill's hands at the moment. His side remaining organized, not affording Orlando too many transition opportunities and making life difficult. He's mentioned what a tactical battle it is to play against this Orlando side, just given how their identities counteract one another. So far, they've kept themselves in the match. Mackey playing out of pressure. Both goalkeepers in their respective systems are asked to undertake more responsibilities with their feet. Edward Wilding speaking about how, in the case of Tristan Himes, it's almost a necessity based on the way world football is trending. World football has become a more position-based game at the highest level, and goalkeepers asked to aid that as this is snatched back upfield. And a chance for Huntsville that is just parried wide. Himes makes himself big and denies the onrushing Huntsville attack. Get another look at this chance. It's just picked up upfield and lashed at by Veliz, who was looking for that bottom left corner. And if not for the slight touch of Himes, it may be 1-0 against the grains of the hosts. Instead, just a corner for the boys in blue. First corner of the night for either team. In swing to the near post and evades everyone as Himes lets it roll. Ultimately, a rather anticlimactic conclusion to that sequence. Haruna is back on the pitch, and that's an encouraging sight for all involved. And it's a clattering tackle that takes out Parker Amumensa. And the referee's taken his yellow card out for the first time tonight. It's shown to Liam Stribling. The 15-year-old is the first to be cautioned in this one. Belgadere looking for the return ball. Gaines reads it step for step. Someone with 5 years of experience as an MLS first-team player. And he's starting to flash that. Fans, is Coke Zero Sugar the best Coke ever? That's a bold question, but it's got to take a taste for yourself, because Coke Zero Sugar is really that amazing. Coke Zero Sugar may just be the best Coke ever. 20 minutes gone here in Huntsville, Alabama. Sam Goldfarb bringing you all of the action as the yellow card is now brandished against Harvey Sarajan, first Orlando man in the book. There is no score between these two potent entities, and we have yet to see a major chance of note with the exception of the Veliz hit from outside the box. There's a player still down for Huntsville as well. It's Kessie Koulibaly. Get another look at how all that transpired. It's direct play off a goal kick, and Koulibaly may have taken a shot to the head from Sarajan with the high boot. That's what draws our referee's ire. Nice lofted long to Molina. Gaines. Dances past one and splits the lines well. Eck is looking for an angle to shoot and loses the ball in the area. Huntsville continuing to negotiate into some eyebrow-raising positions, but they have yet to truly trouble Tristan Himes between the sticks. Maximus Eck, there's few you'd least want to see as an opposing goalkeeper than him. The joint second leading goal scorer in Next Pro with 8 goals to his name. Comes in with goals in back-to-back as well. Jarvis. Stribling. Midway through this first half, Huntsville showing real promise here. Koulibaly. Nearly wrestled it through to Xavier Aguilar. Instead, a chance to break the other way. Sarajan just losing that foot race with the recovering Veliz. Center midfielder doing his defensive duties and then some. It is a pair of sides with vastly different histories as MLS affiliate units. Of course, Huntsville didn't begin competing until 2023, so this is just year 4 of their existence in MLS Next Pro. Of course, last year was the historic first ever playoff berth in Chris O'Neill's first full season at the helm. He's someone who took over in August of 2024 in the midst of a campaign in which Huntsville opened the year 3-15-4 and ended the year 16 points shy of playoff positions. Turned around everything a year ago, and this year still has them competitive. Says, though, that when they fall behind in matches, sometimes the wheels can come off. There's been multiple games in which they've been hit for 5-6 goals, and that's what they need to clamp down on. Show that resilience. Gaines, Aguilar in space, upended on the edge of the area. Cleanly won, according to our referee, who waves play on. Koulibaly. Talabi, his 6th straight start since joining the club on loan from Monterey Bay FC in the USL Championship. 30th overall pick with Inter Miami in this past year's Super Draft as well. Jarvis loses out. Hilton. Belgadere. Draws 2 defenders. This is Trombino. And Orlando starting to settle back on it. Was a frantic period earlier that benefited the hosts. Ryan. Belgadere. See the freedom with which he can roam. Just 16 years of age. Scored that first professional goal with a real moment of magic a week ago, and showing his individual capabilities here. Hilton. Gomez breaks the lines. Issa Haruna back for Ignacio Gomez, who plays the cross in. Doesn't reach Sarajan. Instead falls once again for Ryan. Amu Mensah floating forward. It's an appetizing cross, but it's one just beyond the reach of the on-rushing attacker. Ignacio Gomez was strolling unintended as a box crasher. They look long for Eck. And that touch of directness may be what's required to exploit this uber expansive approach from Orlando City. Stretch themselves thin when they commit their fullbacks as far forward as they have. Amu Mensah. Haruna. Belkadir. We tick towards the 30-minute threshold. Huntsville with the better of the chances, Orlando with the better of the possession. But both teams have yet to truly threaten, with the exception of the one Veliz chance about 10 minutes ago. Sam Goldfarb taking you through this one in Huntsville, Alabama, where it is a warm, humid night, 85 degrees. There were light thunderstorms in the area earlier, as there tends to be in the summertime in the southeast. Trombino. Ryan. The tempo, maybe not fast enough from Orlando. I think that's what Edward Wilding will harp on if this status quo remains the case. Knocking it end to end, side to side well. They're even breaking lines on occasion, but Huntsville making life difficult for them to permeate the defenses. Amu Mensah. Hilton. Ryan. Sticking with it for Orlando, and an overlapping run. Space to cross. Parker Amu Mensah didn't hit it cleanly enough. That was a real chance for Orlando City B to open the scoring. It was a sweeping move from the Lions. You just see Amu Mensah makes the underlap seamlessly as Issa Haruna overlaps. That is a really textbook winger-wing fullback relationship on the right flank. Those two starting to get comfortable with one another as well. Jarvis. Stribling. Fearless at the moment and striding forward for Huntsville. Fell too easily for our referee's liking, though. So 30 minutes gone. We're still awaiting the first punch to be landed in this battle between Huntsville and Orlando. Second meeting of the year. All-time series is even across the board, 4-4-1. Although Huntsville 3 consecutive victories, including that 3-1 triumph on March 2nd. The matchup that opened these two sides' respective seasons a few months back. Haruna. These are two very new-look sides in the wake of that fixture. Huntsville, all 3 goals scored by first-teamers that are not in the squad this evening. Meanwhile, for Orlando, they've dealt with a number of new academy players working their way into the side, not to mention some of the first-teamers phasing their way into the MLS ranks. This is snatched back by Huntsville. And an appetizing ball forward. The flag stays down for Xavier Aguilar, who chops it back. Now awaits reinforcements. Veliz. Pings it forward and beyond the reach of Gaines. Well, fans, Huntsville Hospital Health is proud to be the official medical provider for Huntsville City Football Club. The care teams at Huntsville Hospital Health have been making great saves in the Rocket City and around the Tennessee Valley since 1895. Haven't seen either goalkeeper have to make too many great saves in this one. Tristan Himes, the only goalkeeper to record a save through the opening 32 minutes and change. That came on Moises Veliz's outside of the box hit around 18-19 minutes. Since then, Huntsville continuing to play counter-aggressor, and Orlando struggling to poke holes in this surprisingly stout defense that Chris O'Neill's men have trotted out. If you looked at recent defensive form, you wouldn't feel too thrilled about this matchup as a Huntsville fan against the second leading goal-scoring outfit in the division. They've more than held their own in this and arguably have had the better of the opportunities the other direction. Belgadere. Can't do gains for pace there. And it's a savvy veteran move by the 23-year-old. That's a late challenge on Jarvis. And our referee will brandish the yellow for Trombino. There's no question about that. You see the appeal is rather half-hearted as well. Stops the promising break, and our referee doesn't hesitate to brandish it. Molina. He's someone that is a veteran of MLS Next Pro. Spent 3 years with North Texas during his time there. Won the MLS Next Pro Cup in 2024. And talking to Chris O'Neill about his skill set, he's mentioned how going forward he provides this energy punch from the fullback spot that they've really desired in past seasons. They feel they know what they're going to get from him there. Now what he's challenging him to do is to replicate that energy and move the pride he takes in his attacking output over to the defensive side of the ball, as that's played forward, and Mackey wins the foot race with Sarajan. He had to do that, and he won that gamble he's also paid the price for his daring decision. He is someone that Chris O'Neill refers to as a winner. He's a leader. When he speaks, the players listen. And this was a real chance to unlock Huntsville. If not for Mackey's bravery, Sarajan's likely in. But as we mentioned, he pays the ultimate price for that. Took heavy contact after the fact and still a bit shaken up on the floor. He appears content to keep going for now, and that's a welcome sight for all of the Huntsville faithful. So back underway. It is now the business end of this first half. Well, we've seen half chances both ways. We have yet to see either of these two sides truly threaten a breakthrough just yet. He may have a chance here. It's taken back. Aguilar cuts inside. Xavier Aguilar off the post. Tried to curl it and pick out the top corner, and he was not far off. Veliz. Aguilar stribbling in space. Now the cross in. It's a dangerous one to Eck. Falls for Malachi Molina, who didn't high point it properly. Veliz again. Molina in the half space. Flashed across. Stribbling. Turns goalward. You have to wonder if that Aguilar chance was the moment. Molina. Gains. Defense splitting ball that was just beyond the reach of Veliz. And moments ago, the best chance of the match without debate. Xavier Aguilar just was able to cut inside on his left foot, and he curled it right off that far post. And for all of the talk about Huntsville's recent struggles, the fact that even the goal scoring has dipped to just 5 goals in the last 4 during this 1 point in 4 matches spell, they have produced the better of the chances, and that the best of the lot. It is a real disciplined game plan. They've remained organized, difficult to break down with the exception of a few moments where they've been caught stretched. And I think the most important thing for Chris O'Neill is minimizing the transition opportunities. We spoke about it off the top. That's the way they've been unlocked. That and set pieces during this rocky rut. They have minimized the situations that have caused them the most punishment in the last month or so. Jarvis floats this ahead towards Aguilar. Himes just wins that race, but not by much. Final 5 minutes of the first half, and the match starting to reach a fever pitch. A late challenge from Ignacio Gomez. He's been a key midfield presence since joining from Vélez Sarsfield's reserve ranks in Argentina. Listed center midfielder who's been that deep-lying box-to-box destroyer that Orlando has craved for the bulk of this year. Dribbling. Has a runner in behind. Looks to play him. They managed to maintain a hold of the ball. Dribbling again. A cross in. It's too tight on Himes, though. Feels like this, though, is a major inflection point in the fixture. Orlando showing real vulnerability. Can Huntsville make them pay before they have a 15-minute respite? Because right now they look more out of sorts than perhaps they have throughout this productive run of results. You see Molina's positioning at the moment, deployed so far forward in the press. The shape has freed him up to be more adventurous and maybe minimize the number of times he's caught having to track back and recover. That being the weakness that Chris O'Neill has referenced repeatedly, and he even mentioned entering the night, that's something we may experiment with. It seems that experiment has been put into effect midway through this first half. Gomez. Amu Mensah. It's a tap forward for Haruna. Won't get there in time. It's dribbling, a chance to play out. Driving forward and dragged down in the process. And the referee blows the whistle against Liam Stribling, claiming he tugged down Trombino. And that's a major decision because Trombino is already on a yellow card. And had that decision gone against him, it almost certainly would have met the criteria for a second yellow. Orlando maybe escaping a major bullet there. Final minute now of the initial 45. Belgadir. Haruna. Hilton loses out there to Vélez, who continues to stroll ahead. Aguilar. Vélez again. Molina in acres of space, threads it through to Maximus Eck. It's still loose and tapped home. Julian Gaines opens the scoring in stoppage time, and Huntsville leads. It was coming. There were real structural vulnerabilities in transitional moments, and finally, Huntsville breaks through. Molina threads it into the path of Eck, who doesn't get enough on it, but Gaines wins the race with Tristan Himes. And just like that, Huntsville nudges themselves in front on the stroke of intermission. Gaines, the 23-year-old who rejoined Huntsville, on a second team contract after 2 years with Nashville. Someone who's bounced between first and second team throughout his 3 years with the Nashville SC organization. Bags his second tally of the season, and he lifts Huntsville to an advantage on the precipice of halftime. He is the veteran presence in this squad tonight, one that features a number of inexperienced teenagers. Gaines, though, in start number 7 at 23 years old, in season number 6 in an MLS organization, lifts Huntsville to a crucial goal in this Eastern Conference six-pointer. It is a goal that could completely neutralize the three-point gap between themselves and the playoff line at the end of match week 15. Still plenty of time in the 4 minutes of added time, but now Orlando must get more incisive. Ryan. They're no stranger to overcoming deficits. Had to come back from 2-0 down at this very point a week ago against Carolina Core. Haruna. Looking for an angle to cross. And Veliz is chasing after him, step for step. And he does well. Well, what a moment for Julian Gaines. It's just his third career goal in MLS Next Pro, an appearance 37. During his time with LAFC, during his 3 years there, bounced between Las Vegas Lights and the first team, also briefly featured for LAFC's second team in 2023. Last season, splitting time between first and second team with Nashville and Huntsville, respectively. And even though he's now exclusively on that second team deal, he's still finding ways to impact Huntsville in a positive manner. Final minute of the added 4. As things stand, it is the Gaines stoppage time strike which makes the difference. And it is a deserved advantage for Huntsville at the moment. Ryan. Quick turn from Gomez. Belgadier matching up. Lays it back across to Gomez. Shot cleared away at the source. This likely the final foray forward for the Lions. It's clipped in. Collected, albeit awkwardly, by Mackey. And that may just be enough to take us to halftime with Huntsville in front. Gomez. Hilton. Gomez sticks with it. And Leo Cristiano will see us to halftime. Well, there's one further foul before we reach intermission, excuse me. And so one final set piece in an area where Huntsville really did not need to give one away. This is the similar position on the opposite end of the pitch to where they conceded the opening goal at Toronto last Friday night. So one final set piece for them to weather if they hope to take this narrow advantage into halftime. And there's Amu Mensah and Hilton in the vicinity. Amu Mensah headed away by Gaines. And there is the halftime whistle. Well, it is Julian Gaines who makes the difference. His first half stoppage time tap in after X effort was loose did the job. Our score at the half is Huntsville 1, Orlando 0. Coming up in our halftime show, we will be taking a closer look at a pair of players, our MLS Next Pro connections to the 2026
They say the world's game is played everywhere. This is how we play it here. Every weekend across North America. From Vancouver's mountain rain to the shores of Florida. From the City of Angels to the Heartland. The world's brightest stars light up our fields.
Let's go.
And our fans bring the world to life. In every language, in every city. One game, one roar. Sold out nights under lights. New soccer citadels rising from coast to coast. Every chant, every goal, another brick in a growing relief. Now, the world's biggest stage comes to our home. And when they arrive, they'll find the game's heartbeat has been here all along.
We welcome you back to Huntsville, where our score at halftime is Huntsville 1, Orlando 0. The stories of MLS Next Pro players making their MLS debut are always fun. Let's follow midfielder Owen Prestis as he recently made his way into his MLS debut in New Jersey.
Past few years, you've definitely seen a growth in the willingness from the whole club just to give opportunity to young players, which is huge for myself as a homegrown, but also just the younger guys. When you get out there on the field, it's definitely like, wow. First 5 minutes, you're like taken back a little bit. But then, as the game went on and I felt the ball at my foot, as I started communicating and hearing the other players, that's like home. It's just so fun to play and be out there, and the feeling of a through ball going where you want it to, or the feeling of winning an aerial duel, or the feeling of making a tackle. It's the game I've been playing my whole life. I've been working super hard. I think I just felt a lot of trust. When Laurent said congrats on the debut, in the moment it was like, wow. He coached me in my first few professional games with Crew 2. That was surreal, and whenever my next appearance is, just building off of it, and how can I make that positive for a result or positive for the team? It was pretty cool.
I just love to score goals. I just love to make the fans happy. I just love to see other people smile.
Sumo Jr. slaloming through, and that's just staggering from Carolina Core. Sumo Jr. trying to head it along. Sumo Jr. tucks it in, and it's headed down and past Juan Rojas. Anthony Sumo Jr., the breakthrough.
Growing up in Liberia, I grew up just watching people play at a high level. Like my dad played for the Liberian national team. All his brothers, they all play for the Liberian national team. My uncle, all my uncles, everybody that I grew up around, George Weah, they all play at a very, very high level, and my eyes was open to it at such a young age. And just talking about it makes me passionate because football was the only thing they had, and it helped change their life, and it helped change my life. So they all just helped push me.
Growing up around the game gave Anthony an early love for it. But there was one person he always aspired to be like.
When you're very young, you just play for fun. You just have fun. Every time you see a ball, it's like it releases all your troubles, all your problems, and you're just playing and just enjoying yourself and having fun. So I never really pay attention to being a professional soccer player, but I knew I always wanted to be like my dad. And I always wanted to be like him personality-wise, and how he raised me, how he grew up, the amount of integrity he had, and how he respected other people. And those are the things that I wanted to be like first before I even thought about being anything else.
When Anthony moved to the United States with his mom and sisters, life changed quickly.
Migrating from Liberia to the United States, me and my mom and 2 little sisters, it was very interesting at first because we never really thought about moving to a different country and changing our life, leaving our families behind and just leaving a lot of things. So just migrating over here and coming to the US, we faced a lot of adversity, and my mom, she had to like go through the mud to work every day, 2 or 3 jobs just for us to have the opportunity that we have today. I give thanks and glory to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, because without him, I wouldn't be in the situation that I'm in today, because I think he gave me the strength and the courage to keep driving, to keep striving every day, because life is not as easy as you think it is.
No matter where he was, the game always felt the same to Anthony. It was the place where he felt most like himself.
My dad always tells me that. He always tells me you was born to be a professional football player, or you was born to be a football player. No matter where you play at, football is still the same. Whether you play in mud, you play on sand, it's still the same. It never changed. So for me, whenever I step into any environment, whenever I step into anywhere, I just pray to God for him to shine his light through me so I can be able to do what I love.
Put it on, get it through, and a quick counter for Sumo. Gets a shot and scores! Sumo strikes back for Carolina!
Carolina Core gave Anthony an opportunity. That trust is something he carries with him every time he plays.
Carolina has changed my life, and they were the first club to give me the opportunity to achieve my dreams, and I'm just grateful and thankful. That's why every time I step onto the field, I want to give everything that I can for this club and for the fans and everybody else.
They say the world's game is played everywhere. This is how we play it here. Every weekend across North America. From Vancouver's mountain rain to the shores of Florida. From the City of Angels to the Heartland. The world's brightest stars light up our fields.
Let's go.
And our fans bring the world to life. In every language, in every city. One game, one roar. Sold out nights under lights. New soccer citadels rising from coast to coast. Every chant, every goal. Another brick in a growing relief. Now, the world's biggest stage comes to our home. And when they arrive, they'll find the game's heartbeat has been here all along.
At this summer's FIFA World Cup, 105 players at the tournament have spent time with an MLS club, with 44 of these players developed through the MLS player pathway. Of these 44 players, 19 spent time in MLS Next Pro. Fans can get a closer look at this historic group by heading to MLSnextpro.com. And now it's time to take a look around MLS Next Pro. We welcome you back to Huntsville, Alabama, where our score at intermission is Huntsville 1, Orlando City B 0. The lone goal scored by Julian Gaines in first half stoppage time. In terms of our recent scores throughout match week 15 in MLS Next Pro, it has been a busy stretch of fixtures. Vancouver Whitecaps FC2 prevailing on penalties against North Texas. And then as you head further down last week, Orlando, the come-from-behind victory over Carolina Core. Meanwhile, Minnesota United FC2 winning a thriller against SKC2 on Monday. There's also a number of upcoming matches in MLS Next Pro. Here is your look at the upcoming schedule. It will be a loaded Sunday as match week 15 rolls on. Keep your eye on the Cincinnati-Columbus Crew 2 affair. The Heck is Plausible Derby at 6 p.m. Eastern on Sunday. And then on Wednesday, New York City FC2 hosting Carolina Core, a short week for the Foxes. It's time to get a look at our standout moments of the first half from Huntsville. A number of big chances for Huntsville. They were without the ball for large spells, but had the much better of the opportunities in front of goal. You get your look at these halftime highlights. Orlando did get off to a quick start. Justin Hilton found himself in a dangerous spot here and just lashed at it on the counter. It's one of the few transition opportunities Orlando City B had. And then Huntsville really started to pick and choose their moments in the press. Moises Veliz forcing a quality save out of Tristan Himes around the midway point of the first half. And then it was just a constant story of them winning it back upfield. Xavier Aguilar kissing one off of the far post. That was a real chance for Huntsville City. And you just wondered if they'd be able to break through before halftime. And then Molina ensured they did. Played a well-weighted ball there. Effort just sat kindly for Julian Gaines, who tapped it home to open the scoring in first half stoppage time. That was the difference-making moment. Right now, Huntsville a 1-0 cushion. It's time to take a quick breather here from Huntsville when we return in the second half as Huntsville looks to get back in the win column.
Boys hear sentiment, flow tastes sweet like cinnamon. Open up doors, I'm a gentleman. View top floor, I'm still staying ahead of them. Running on fumes and adrenaline. Do what I do best, can't rush in like a roulette. You can't name a better duet. Don't ask questions, trying to figure out what sound. Don't worry about what next, just wanna know what's next. Man, I say it so loud. Don't worry about what next, just know we got now. Oh yes, man, I say it oh so proud. Don't worry about what next, just know we got now.
Should be a fun season of MLS Next Pro. Oh my! Pedrinho wins it!
We welcome you back to Huntsville, where we are just about set for second half kickoff in this Eastern Conference tussle between Huntsville City and Orlando City B. As things currently stand, a 1-0 cushion for Huntsville as it looks to snap a 4-match winless run. The goal scored by Julian Gaines, a tap-in after Maximus Effort squirted underneath Tristan Himes and fell so kindly for the onrushing Gaines. It was a story in the first half of Huntsville winning the ball back in the press and picking their moments to create opportunities on manufactured counterattacks. Meanwhile, Orlando, a lot of aimless possession. I'm sure Edward Wilding would have hoped that they would be a little more incisive during their time on the ball. They certainly had more of it, but they have yet to create any real chances of note against Will Mackey and company. There's still time for them to rectify things. Remember, this is an Orlando side that is extremely resilient in both the Chattanooga FC match as well as the Carolina Core match the last 2 weeks. They have had to overcome complex scenarios. Last week, 2-0 down against Carolina Core, scored 3 unanswered, including 2 after the restart to win the game. Meanwhile, they fell behind 2-1 as well a couple weeks ago against Chattanooga, ripped off 4 unanswered, including a convoy of tallies in the second half to win in dominant 5-2 fashion. So this side, no stranger to moments like these. The question is whether they have the magic in their hat one more time, or if it will finally be Huntsville's night, and if they will continue their dominance in this fixture. We'll see in the upcoming 45 minutes and change. Still Orlando now, going from left to right on your screen. The the hosts in Huntsville going from right to left. No changes for either side here as we get set to resume the play. Back underway here from Wicks Family Field at Joe Davis Stadium. Sam Goldfarb thanking you for joining us. 1-0 to Huntsville. It is Julian Gaines, the difference maker in first half stoppage time. The question is if his tally will be the decisive one, or if there's more drama in store for us tonight. Orlando already settling back into possession. Problem was not them having the ball. The problem was them playing through Huntsville, which was so obdurate in their shape. First side that's been caught out with regularity for the better part of the last month. That is a promising development. Chris O'Neill mentioning that some of the issues have been structural, but a lot of it in transition, and they've done a good job minimizing the amount of transition counter-like opportunities Orlando can create. Here's Haruna. Pair of goals to his name this season, and always a danger when he touches it. Ushers it wide to Amu Mensah, who's not been shy about getting forward himself. Stribling, doing his defensive duties. Sandy. Clever link-up play. Trombino was looking for the return ball that never came. Now Stribling. Weaving through traffic and has a runner in Cristiano, who's strolling forward from center back. An early cross. Doesn't quite reach Molina, but a positive idea for Huntsville, who have wreaked havoc on the break tonight. Now Hilton. Knocks this along. And now wide. There are options in the area to aim at. Sirajin dispossessed at the 11th hour, but still loose. Played across to Hilton, who's looking for an angle. Forced to wide by Talabi, and just about does the job. Well, you see the way in which Huntsville's recovering and maintaining numbers against the ball. See how long this can continue. With the way the first half unfolded, you would figure, especially given the scoreline in the second, you will see Huntsville have to suffer out of possession for large spells. And those will be the moments where their focus and collective stamina is tested, especially if this 1-0 lead persists into the dying embers. Molina. Hunting, Stribling. Amu Mensah left it loose. Aguilar still on it. Still wrestling for it and overzealous in his attempts to win it back. It will be the classic game of cat and mouse. Huntsville will accept any opportunity to counter. Orlando will throw numbers at the problem en masse as this wears on. Hilton out wide, a cross in is dangerous, but scooped up before it could reach Ignacio Gomez. Justin Hilton, the 18-year-old, is starting to put his fingerprints on this. Amu Mensah, the 18-year-old Orlando City Academy product. Squaring up with Stribling, across to Haruna. Clever save there. Still loose though. A long-range hit that squirts in. Orlando is level. And it's Belvedere for the second consecutive week. He scored the winner on Sunday. And 6 nights later, he picks up the loose change and drives it home. Just squirts beyond the reach of the diving Will Mackey. And just like that, we are all square. Well, you wondered how long it would take the resistance to break. And it broke 5 minutes after the restart. Matthew Belvedere, the 16-year-old, who's worked his way as a regular super sub for the bulk of this season, getting a start as a reward for scoring the game winner with his first pro goal on Sunday. And now he's leveled the scoreline for OCB. Orlando 1, Huntsville 1. And that makes things very interesting as we close this out. Huntsville can no longer just park numbers behind the ball. They can try to stick with the first half game model that allowed them to pick their spots. But as this wears on, if they hope to win it, they will eventually have to come out of their shell. And you see on your screen, Matthew Belvedere, the 16-year-old, is starting to make a name for himself here in June. Maybe hard to take out of the 11 for Edward Wilding as the season wears on. You talk to coaches, and sometimes they say goals are almost like a ketchup bottle. Sometimes you'll knock the bottle and nothing comes out, and other times the ketchup just flows. Belvedere waited 10 matches for his first professional goal. It's been goals in back-to-back since. Maybe the ketchup is starting to flow, if that analogy were to remain the context of this. Hilton. Amu Mensah. Suddenly, Orlando with the wind in its sails, and these are the moments where they tend to put teams to the sword, especially during this winning run. If this were to hold, Orlando would climb to third in the Eastern Conference table, of course, with other teams having a match in hand. Amu Mensah may have paid for his aggression there. For Huntsville, the importance of recovering in this one can't be overstated, excuse me. This is a Huntsville squad that entered the night 3 points shy of the top 8. Remember, the top 8 teams in MLS Next Pro reach the playoffs from each conference. Eck through to Stribling. Stribling goes for goal, and Himes denies him at the near post. It is a corner for Huntsville. First of the half for either side. And there is now an Orlando player down. And this is definitely a point of concern for Orlando. They've dealt with a few early match injury scares, and now another player down on the deck just after equalizing as well. For those that have just joined us, we welcome you to Wicks Family Field in Huntsville, Alabama. A warm summer night in the Southeast. It was Julian Gaines who opened the scoring in first half stoppage time. Matthew Belgadier, 5 minutes after the restart, pulling Orlando level with an effort that squeezed beneath the reach of Will Mackey. And that's where we find ourselves at the moment. A game with all to play for. Well, fans, this portion of the match is brought to you by Renaissance, understanding you, member FDIC. Player back to his feet now for Orlando. And now they have a corner to defend. It is Xavier Aguilar who's trotting over to take. Liam Stribling is nearby in the vicinity. You wonder what Huntsville can conjure off of set pieces for the remainder of this. Maybe one of their better opportunities to find a winner. In swinger. The back posts. Molina chasing after it. Follow-up cross in. No one there to greet it. Recycled by Cristiano, who dives in and maybe lucky he's gotten off without any sort of other punishment besides the throw going against him, because he committed to that. There is now a sub taking place for Huntsville. Hearing word that Liam Stribling will exit. So a promising near-hour shift, and he's replaced by Misei Yoshizawa, who's more of a classic center mid. So maybe a shift into a 4-2-3-1 shape. So Yoshizawa, the 22-year-old, capable of playing on the flanks or as an attacking mid. Signed his first pro contract after 4 strong seasons at Clemson University. Of course, a top program in the ACC. This one with a goal and 2 assists to his name, and filling in now for Liam Stribling on the left flank. And he's already pressing after this. Here's Aguilar. Cristiano in his more classic left back role, and looks for Aguilar, who gets there. Aguilar loses his footing and he's down in a heap. And now they'll come back to the injury concern. Aguilar is back to his feet. Seems like he wants to keep going. Definitely landed awkwardly after losing his footing there. Molina has Cristiano as an option. Instead, it's Jarvis. Cristiano. It is important to note, in the midst of all of the squad turnover for Orlando, 3 changes, there's no Pedro Leao, their leading goal scorer, not in the squad after bagging braces in back-to-back matches. So no option for Leao if this wears on. They do still have plenty of firepower on the pitch themselves, and Sarajan is someone who Edward Wilding himself says that he may vanish for 30, 60 minutes at a game, but he only needs one opportunity to pop up, and he has that physical advantage he can leverage over almost any defender. He's someone who will pop up like a dormant presence. It could just reawake at any time. This is well done from Huntsville, and a chance brewing. Aguilar was looking for the follow-up and clattered into his defender. We've entered the final 30 minutes. And as things stand, it is still all to play for. Gaines had Huntsville and Dreamland at halftime. Belvedere put those dreams on ice for now with an equalizer on 50 minutes. We've been at a stalemate ever since. And remember, if the stalemate remains at the end of 90 minutes, we go to a penalty shootout to determine who achieves an additional point in the table. So even if this ends level, there will be a team that takes away more of the spoils. The way Huntsville so desperately covets a victory right now, you would fancy them to not want to settle for anything, especially at home. Orlando, meanwhile, given the form they're in, they could afford to drop points, but I think Edward Wilding would hope the good times could keep rolling. Two changes being readied for Orlando, both in defensive midfield. Amu Mensah. And he's fouled to the chagrin of Cristiano. And this given away. Haruna. Sarajan. It's intercepted. So we are hearing word that Nicolas Bobea-Torres as well as Jacob Ramirez are getting set to enter. Trombino and Gomez are the two tipped to make way. Here is Trombino in what could be his final involvement, and he turns it over. Jarvis. So there is the double change. It is Trombino and Gomez who will exit. Trombino already on a yellow card. Bobea-Torres as well as Ramirez replace them. Jacob Ramirez did start a pair of matches in the last 5 games. Gets a chance to close out this one. You know, Bobea-Torres, more of a sporadically used reserve, but more of an attacking midfielder since joining from Delfines del Este in the top flight of Dominican football. He's just played 59 minutes total this season. He'll play the final 27 and change, assuming he's on the pitch for the remainder of this one. Both are new additions to the squad this year. Ramirez is an academy product at just 16 years old, who will replace his counterpart in Trombino. Well, fans, with 38 physicians offering a full spectrum of care, the Orthopedic Center provides the most comprehensive orthopedic care unmatched in North Alabama. Trust the team Huntsville City Football Club counts on to keep them in the match. Log on to visittoc.com for more information. This played direct, and it's an errant clearance that falls nicely. Now played across. Sarajan just left it dangling. It was a scintillating ball in from Haruna. And now, after the fact, you see Kessie Koulibaly, who pinged the clearance off his own face, goes down on the deck. He's also cramping up, it seems. So not a fun 30-second spell for the 23-year-old center back. So no join from Czechian football after spells in France. Well, back underway. At the moment, the question is, will one of these two sides procure a winner, or is the destination penalties? Still plenty of time for one of these two sides to answer it emphatically. Maximus Ek, with the exception of his effort on the opening goal, which squirted through and rolled into the path of gains, has struggled to establish any space from his markers. It's popped up in fits and spurts, but not much else beyond that. Sprayed forward by Talabi. Molina after it, and he does get there. Now cutting inside. Too many yellow shirts in the vicinity. As we mentioned at halftime, this Orlando side no stranger to rescuing all 3 points from losing positions. They've done it each of the last 2 weeks. This is a squad that can score goals in bunches and do so really quickly. This hoofed ahead. Headed back to the goalkeeper, Himes, before it could reach Maximus Ek. There's the first touch from Ramirez. Now Huntsville is readying 2 changes themselves. We're hearing that Xavier Aguilar and Kessie Koulibaly are the 2 set to depart. It appears Klaus Sullivan and Angel Iniguez will replace them. Haruna. Weaving inside. That freedom to roam. Hilton. Ramirez. Tackled heavily by Veliz, who concedes the free kick. And this is definitely an inviting spot for Orlando City B. Right in Harvey Sarajan range if he opts to take it himself. It does appear that Justin Hilton seems more inclined. 18-year-old who's got a goal and an assist to his name. He certainly favors his left boot. Hilton goes for goal. It's off the wall. A rather underwhelming attempt at things. So now those two changes take place. For Huntsville City, Angel Iniguez, Klaus Sullivan in. As we mentioned earlier, Xavier Aguilar and Kessie Koulibaly out. Both attack-minded changes. Aguilar has sat in that number 10 role all day. He's replaced by Sullivan, a 23-year-old who joined after a year with Ventura County FC, where he produced 5 goals and 6 assists to his name in last season. He's made 11 appearances and has a goal and an assist this year. Angel Iniguez, meanwhile, his appearance number 12, the same stat line this year as Sullivan, joining the club after an exceptional career at San Jose State University, where he was an all-WAC first-team selection. So center back and an attacking mid-out for 2 attack-minded presences for Huntsville. That signifies they're chasing this. They win it back here. Veliz, now Jarvis. Inside the final 20 minutes. Still hangs in the balance. Amu Mensah. It's a loose pass back that's nearly broken up. Now Huntsville can settle on it. Iniguez the substitute. Jarvis dispossessed. Now Ramirez for Orlando. And yellow shirts streaming forward. Sarajan driving ahead. Harvey Sarajan lays it off. A quick turn and just curled wide. A real chance from Hilton, but he can't redirect it on frame. He had to contort his entire body there. That's really tough with your momentum going the other way. But Hilton did not miss by much. Molina. It's all opening up now with both teams going for it. Veliz. Jarvis. There's the goal scorer, Gaines. Jarvis again. Gaines. Still hunting that angle to whip in across. Now he finds it. No one there in Navy to greet it. Well, fans, this portion of the match is brought to you by Keel Point. Keel Point helping you harness wealth to live with peace and purpose. Ticking towards the final quarter of an hour. Still all even. It was Gaines in first half stoppage time. It was Belgadere on 50 minutes, leveling things for Orlando. And since then, a back and forth affair in which both teams have had half chances but have failed to capitalize. These are the moments where Huntsville will express some concern because a big talking point from Chris O'Neill was sometimes when things go awry, goal-scoring wise, they can go awry in a hurry. Look at the likes of the 6-2 defeat against Atlanta United 2, where they were dealt a red card on May 16th. Not to mention early in the season, falling 7-2 at Crown Legacy on March 8th. There are moments where sometimes when things go off the rails, they really go off the rails. And he feels that the Toronto performance was a good way to combat that. Despite falling behind 2-0, they kept the train on the tracks and nearly climbed back into the game. In this one, in the 20 minutes following the equalizer, they've remained stable, but now it's about maintaining that and avoiding unraveling at the death. Amu Mensah with numbers in support. Haruna cuts inside, and it deflects out of play for a corner. It is Orlando's first of the second half. Hearing word that Hilton is about to vacate for Orlando City in the near future. Brady Kendall is the lad tipped to replace him. Before that, though, a set piece for the Lions. In-swinger to the back post. Comes loose for Bobea Torres, who sticks with it. Another cross in. Ramirez on the volley. Oh, it's exceptional. Simply jaw-dropping, and Orlando leads. Take a bow. Jacob Ramirez, the 16-year-old, opening his professional account in unreal fashion. Appearance number 6 with OCB, and he scores a professional opener he will always remember. The 16-year-old Jacob Ramirez, a native of Orlando, who made 2 reserve appearances a year ago, only played 43 minutes, starting to carve out a bigger role this year and opening his professional account with a goal that everyone will remember in Orlando colors. OCB leads 2-1. In the chaos of that, Kendall has replaced Hilton. Jacob Ramirez with a potential winner that may define the match week. And now Huntsville has to overcome all of the deflation that comes with a moment like that. All square in the final 15, and you concede in that manner. What is the response now from Chris O'Neill's men? There were signs of promise, albeit less so than the first half, before that would-be winner. But now they have to chase for the first time tonight. And now Orlando pushing on with numbers again. Sarajan lays it off. Kendall! Saved. It was nearly another Academy led on the score sheet. Orlando still pushing on, looking to end this. And Brody Kendall, another 16-year-old Academy player, nearly got his professional account started. He just aims for the far corner, and it's a quality save from Mackey to at least keep Huntsville in it for the time being. But this is an onslaught following Ramirez's goal that came out of thin air. Another corner. This time taken short. Haruna in acres of space. It's parried away. Still falls. It's hit again goalward. And this time right at Mackey from Ryan. Huntsville for now weathering the storm. It's taken away again though. Kendall. Right now, the hosts are reeling. It's hard to get back up for it and put a volley wonder strike like that in the back burner, but they may have a chance here. It's threaded forward, a real opportunity, and it's just saved. Tristan Himes does enough, and he denies Klaus Sullivan. Was that the golden chance? It's given away so sloppily and just played right into the path of Sullivan. It may have taken an awkward deflection off of the defender before it could even reach Himes. Either way, it's a corner and a much-needed intervention at the last. Suddenly, this match has hit a fever pitch after our first half where things were very cagey and tactical. In-swinger to the heart of the area. Jarvis! Cristiano now. Deflected away by Kendall. And now Huntsville firing right back. Veliz has a step and has room. Knocked wide again. It's a sloppy touch from Angel Iniguez. Well, buckle up. Since that Ramirez banger, this match has become end-to-end chaos. Huntsville in desperate pursuit of salvaging a result after leading for a good chunk of this game. Orlando hoping to see out a 5th win in the last 6 and a 4th consecutive victory on the trot. It would be the 3rd straight match in which they've come back from a losing position to claim all 3 points. And it would continue this magic carpet ride under Edward Wilding. Haruna. Kendall has plenty of runners with him and looks to switch the play. And the whistle finally sounds against Huntsville. The fans displeased. They felt the earlier challenge from the Orlando players should have been penalized. A 3rd would all but seal it now. And it would take a lot of the nerves out of things for Orlando away from home if they could find another. It's Bernardo Ryan who will ask the questions. Hooks it towards the box. Ramirez. Do you think he can one-up the stunner from moments ago? Himes looking long, just beyond the reach of Haruna. That's an area of his game that Edward Wilding was particularly complimentary of. His long-range distribution was nearly on the money from over midfield. Molina. There was still hope for Huntsville. They need to throw numbers at the problem in a way they haven't had to all night. Cristiano. Both teams now preparing last-ditch changes. Light Eke is getting set to enter for Maximus Eck for Huntsville. Meanwhile, the duo of Landon Akonski as well as Nicholas Ocheras are getting ready to enter for Orlando. On the other end of things, it is Chicamso who will exit for Orlando. And one further change. Okonski for Chicamso is a like-for-like change, while Lecheras is a slightly more attack-minded presence for Titus Sandy. Another corner for Huntsville. It is almost now or never time for the hosts. In swinger. Looking for Cristiano at the back post, but it never gets there. Both center backs off for Orlando. As they look to shore things up with fresh legs. While Eck off for Eke. Jarvis tucks it wide. There are numbers to aim at in the box as well. It's back for Aiden Jarvis. He runs right into a thicket of Orlando kits. Locheras is capable of filling in at center back, so it's a double swap there. This cross in was headed across the face for Molina. And the chance comes to nothing after the foul from Yoshizawa. And now frustration beginning to set in for the Huntsville faithful. Their side led at halftime. They're seeing it all unravel in brutal fashion now. It would be a fourth defeat in 5 for Huntsville. It would be a 4th consecutive victory for Orlando. And it would be a continuation of both sides' respective runs of form. Still time for Huntsville to change the narrative. Huntsville has shown a capability of climbing back into matches. Just 2 weeks ago against Connecticut United, erased 2 1-goal deficits, but they have to defend this here. Sarajan maintains the possession for Orlando. And now it's destination corner flag as he looks to run valuable seconds off the clock. Hearing word it could be a sizable number on the 4th official's board in a matter of seconds. And there may be A collective roar throughout the Huntsville fans in attendance. Until then, though, there's a corner to take for Orlando, and they'll be in no rush to resume play. Referee urging play on. It's taken short. Sarajan. Well, it is a hefty number on the fourth official's board, and that number is 6 minutes. So renewed hope for Huntsville as they seek an equalizer. Have trailed since Jacob Ramirez's 77th minute volley stunner to open his professional account. Would be a third straight week in which Orlando has come back from a losing position to win the game. They still have to weather this, though. Yoshizawa cutting inside on his right. Sprayed wide to Molina. Everyone behind the ball now for Orlando. Veliz driving it just wide. Was that the moment? Moises Veliz with a free runway here, and he just puts his laces through it, narrowly whistles it wide of the near post, and it did not look like Tristan Himes had that covered. A big sigh of relief from the entire Orlando defense. Launched forward by Mackey. Eke. Yoshizawa. Dances past one defender, but he runs into a second. It will be full caution in the wind now for Huntsville. It will be desperate last-ditch defending from Orlando. Chance to potentially procure a long throw, but before that, there is a player down for Orlando. If this result were to hold, Orlando would jump to second in the Eastern Conference table. That would be with Red Bull New York 2 still to play later on in the weekend. It would be a massive surge up the table. That long throw headed away. And now Sarajan clattered from behind. And more opportunity for Orlando to take their time to resume play. Sarajan, though, in a major bit of discomfort now. It was a yellow card shown to Leo Cristiano, the lad donning the captain's armband for Huntsville. He was the man responsible for that reckless tackle. We're midway now through the added 6 minutes. You would fancy the referee to add on maybe 30 more seconds given the nature of the recent stoppages. Orlando, though, very close to guiding a statement victory, another statement victory over the line. Yoshizawa. Molina. Bashes it ahead. And too tight on the goalkeeper, Himes. Sullivan was in. Ramirez. Orlando looking for any chance to alleviate this pressure. Instead, more will come. Eke. Driving ahead himself. Had no support, at least where he was roaming. Shifted wide. Cristiano heads it right back to Himes. And as we enter the final minute of the added 6, you wonder if the chances have dwindled to near zero for Huntsville. There may be time for one final attack, and it may come now. Eke. Yoshizawa chasing and gets there. Yoshizawa cuts it inside, and Iguez to Eke! Great save! The follow-up right back to Himes. That was the chance, and Himes was equal to it. We are beyond the added 6 minutes. It is all at our referee's discretion. He's urging Orlando to resume the action. Sarajan turns past multiple defenders, and he wins a free kick. And if Orlando's smart, they will just take this directly towards the near side corner flag and see out the remainder of this. How much time remains? Only our lead official knows. It is Bash goalward. You wonder if that's a rash decision? It is not, because the full-time whistle sounds, and Orlando City B, for the third consecutive week, has pulled off 3 points from a losing position. Second half goals from Matthew Belgadere, as well as the screamer from Jacob Ramirez, make the difference. And now it's time for tonight's man of the match, which is presented by Adidas. And who else would it be but the man of the hour, Jacob Ramirez, an absolute screamer to open his professional account in the 77th minute. The 16-year-old, the hero in the final quarter of an hour. They win it back off a corner. It pinged in, and oh my word, you can pick that out. He hits it so cleanly, knuckles well outside the reach of Will Mackey, and there was just no chance. And that, the difference-making moment that opens his professional scoring account and makes him the man of the match. Well, that is where things finish from Huntsville, where Orlando City comes from behind and wins by a 2-1 scoreline. For our entire MLS Next Pro broadcast crew, I'm Sam Goldfarb. Once again, our final score is Huntsville 1, Orlando 2. Don't forget, you can watch MLS Next Pro all season long at MLSNextPro.com and OneFootball. Have a great rest of your night, everyone.
This copyrighted broadcast of Major League Soccer may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of Major League Soccer.